What's up, everybody? It's about that time to bring you another fantastic episode of Whatchu Spinnin. Today is episode 90 of this here program, this podcast, this beautiful show. I'm your host, Dorian, joined with me, my other beautiful hosts, Matt and Jake. How are you doing, boys?
Good, man. We're getting up there. Holy shit, 90 episodes? Damn. Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
That's a lot of albums, a lot of good discussions and recommendations, and I think that's just made our music vocabulary grow so much.
Oh yeah. The amount of the places that my music listening throughout a day, because I obviously listen to a shit ton of music in a day. The various spots, whether it's genre or country, that I will hit in a given day is wild. Like there's a couple constants in there, but it's like one day I'll listen to this. Like I threw on some of the Mdu Mokhtar like on the break, and then 2 hours later I'm fucking thrown on Deftones or something crazy like that. Got into a Korn kick at one point. Like it's awesome. I almost want to take Jake's idea and do the graph, that Excel sheet that you did last year.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just see where we're at now. But yeah, 90 freaking eps, man.
Yeah.
Before we dive in to today's content, has anybody been listening to anything new? I kind of just teased you, told you a couple of drive-by things. Anyone listening to anything worth bringing back up or sharing or what?
Here and there, not so much new. My shuffle's been getting a little crazy. Bay of Flick has been playing this whole week. Live at the Quick is fucking primo shit.
Yes.
I did listen, I guess, the new Blue album. He collabed with August Fannin, which is a producer. Oh my god, dude, great production on it. Pretty solid features too. A lot of features I don't recognize, but that they were doing pretty good. So that album was good. Yeah, not a whole lot. Just shuffle been going fucking nuts.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yeah, same for me. I think diving down the genre that we did this week for our picks, I kind of put that kind of on shuffle and just went down different rabbit holes with different eras of that kind of music and different artists. That was fun. Found some new people I like. That was always cool. So, but nothing really new. Been listening to a little bit more David Bowie, diving back into his 70s catalog, his Berlin trilogy when he was recording albums with Brian Eno, and they're different. Like half of it's a rock record and the other half's like an ambient David Bowie album. So yeah, not for everyone, but it's very eclectic, and very well done. And nothing really hip hop related, unfortunately. Billy Woods is always in my DJ's playlist. He's always throwing that on for me. So I don't think there's a day that passes that I don't listen to a Billy Woods song, to be honest. Even though I'll skip some sometimes, but I hear Billy at least once a day. It's like my gospel.
At 2:30 p.m., Matt listens to Soft Landing.
All right.
Hell yeah. Speaking of,
I saw you guys quoting it in the group chat.
Oh, yeah.
I heard you guys quoting it in the group chat, and I was like, I was about to chime in. I got towards the end of the half where you guys were already going off, but I liked that.
Hell yeah. I did spin Hiding Places last night, speaking of Billy, but I was thinking the other day that like when the weather starts to get like consistently nicer, I shift from listening to Hiding Places mainly to moving into Maps territory. I don't know why. It's ever since I've gotten into Woods, I've noticed that. Like, I don't know, Hiding Places is just like an overcast weather type of album for me. But then I played it last night and it's been fucking gorgeous all week. And I was like, yeah, no, it's like probably his best. You and I were talking about that, Matt. But yeah, that's a damn good project.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new other than what I kind of mentioned. Heard Chameleon by Herbie Hancock in a restaurant the other day. That was fucking sick. Just
Nice.
randomly. I was like, whoever does the music, it was like a fancier, it was the woman's birthday this week. And so we went out to dinner, like to a nicer spot. And I was like, out of all the jazz music you could be playing, you're throwing on Headhunters. It's like, whoever is running this is fucking good in my book. So that was tight.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's get right on into it. I'm super stoked to talk about these albums. If you remember from last episode, we are doing episode 90, a Japanese edition, is what today is. So we've got 3 wonderful albums from, I think all of them are before the 90s. So some pretty old stuff as far as recency goes. But yeah, all from Japan. I'm super stoked to talk about those, but we'll see you on the other side. Go ahead and stick around. It's Whatchu Spinnin' episode 90.
Yar.
Yar. Okay.
Yar, are we ready?
Yar.
Arg. It's time to start the show. Let's see.
Okay. This show is not hosted by a pirate, but this show is Whatchu Spinnin'. It's time to kick off today's content for episode 90, a Japanese edition of Whatchu Spinnin'. We always decide beforehand who's going first, and it's Mr. Matt's turn. So why don't you tell the beautiful people what you got, you beautiful man?
It's my turn. Yes, we're going with a compilation album. And Dorian was with me when I purchased this at Moonrock Records. Shout out to them. Great establishment here in Eugene, Oregon. This album's called Somewhere Between Mutant Pop, Electronic Minimalism, and Shadow Sounds of Japan, 1980 through 88. That's my favorite part. Shadow sounds. Whoa. What is a shadow sound? Well, you put this on your speaker and you'll find out. It's eclectic, man. There's so many different things going on with this album and so many different artists doing their thing. Showcases a lot of the things that were going on in Japan, I think in the early 80s and kind of after that with consumerism, and I think people there being a little bit more liberated and just buying things more and having luxury in their life. And so the music kind of reflects that, whether it's the techno side, the rock side with some of the other albums we're talking about today. But this compilation album kind of showcases the weirdness of that era with some of the title tracks on here, like Arrows and Eyes, the way that starts off. That's kind of the catchier song on there. And then it kind of dives into a rabbit hole, lots of different mutant pop. I love that word too. So yeah, I just bought it on a whim and I like it. Unfortunately, this Spotify release only has 8 tracks. The album has 14. I didn't know that until this morning because I haven't been playing it and I haven't played it in a while. So I apologize for that. There's 6 other tracks on here that I'm sure are pretty killer. So yeah, what'd you guys think?
This is some good stuff, man. This is I didn't realize how it's crazy that, you know, the 3 of us like each obviously had to pick an album from Japan, and how close you and I landed on the board is actually pretty remarkable to me. I did not anticipate that. And I was so listening, I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, so we're just like, we've been writing this like very big ambient-esque, like dark,
Yes,
like music to listen to with the lights off type of shit. And I'm loving it. And so this was like, I was like, oh shit, we managed to find like the Japanese version of that, you know, because we've been doing it from Canada and all that other shit. But anyway, yeah, this is incredible. I love the curation behind this. You know, whoever put this track list together managed to find quite a wide variety of different artists doing something that like could actually seems cohesive, you know. If you put this on, you could convince me that this is all one artist, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
sounds similar enough, and you know, that's pretty cool. And you know, to have it also be from such like a pretty large span of time is impressive as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, congrats that you had a picked it up on a whim turn out to be a pretty damn good album, honestly. Like,
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah.
no,
Yeah, sometimes just picking up something at the store, like if you have no idea, never heard of it, could be a hit or miss sometimes. But this was a hit, dude. I did try looking up the rest of the tracks, and I couldn't find them. Like I couldn't find them on YouTube. I couldn't see like a track list of them. They weren't even on Bandcamp.
Wow.
So, but if I don't know if you've spun it, Matt, but I'd be interested listening to the rest of those songs. Is it like around the same feel as the rest of this?
Yeah, I feel like there's probably some other tracks on here that you should hear. Yeah, definitely worth buying. Go get it.
We have to be on the lookout now. But like, what can you say about this album, man? It's kind of just it's so different. So like it's like kind of like a mind fuck almost because you hear it and you don't know what to expect. Because like shadow sounds, electronic minimalism, like what is that? Especially from a whole different region doing different things. Like, is it gonna sound like drum and bass? Is it gonna sound like, you know, just some Brian Eno shit? But it's like it's very different to what anything else I've heard, like honestly. Like, and I'm surprised that Dorian said it already, but that you two kind of both picked the almost like identical, like kind of in the same field essentially. But man, this definitely unique. Every artist on here, and there's like multiple. Every song is like a different artist, different group or whatever. Just doing weird, wacky stuff, and some of it makes no sense. Some of it makes perfect sense. Songs like Waymar 22, like that song to me just sounds like someone's like just doing that in the mic the whole time.
Yes.
Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then songs like this dark disco, like that's you like it sounds like exactly what it says, dark disco. So it's yeah, man, it's fucking nuts. Thank you for bringing this up. This really kind of like opened up my mind to a whole different side of the world and music that people are doing, and it's good, man. It's some good stuff.
I love to hear that. Each song on here is unique. Like Sweet Sultan, I feel like that has a very 80s vibe. Like I could hear that in an 80s movie of any kind. It's just kind of the slow like running scene or something like that. And I feel like there's a lot of songs on here that it's just they're having a conversation for their lyrics mid-song, and it works. It's great. Like behind the weird sampling and instrumentation that's going on, they're just having like random talks, and I don't know. There's so much fun on here. It's definitely worth listening to, and just opening your vocabulary to the other side of Japanese music in the early 80s. Like you said, Jake, it's kind of opened your eyes to more stuff out there, and I love it when we can do that for each other and share the love of music and find more. So it's a fun album.
Absolutely. It's almost this is one in particular, and it's that you want to seek out the other stuff that these artists have done, you know, to be like, what does their other stuff sound like, you know? Like the song that threw me for the biggest loop was like Wedding with God at the end, like just like the soft little voice and everything, and it's like as if you were in a dark spooky cave for the entire album, and that's like the meadow at the end of it, and you're like, what where'd you come from? You know, like but it's wonderful. The early vibe that I got from this listening to like the first handful of times I listened to it, I was like, did Fever Ray just curate a Japanese artist like playlist basically and then throw it on an album? Like a lot, like, especially Arrows and Eyes. I was like, this could have been off of that fucking that Fever Ray album that we covered. Like just too too similar to me, but so I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. Like the conversationalism kind of feel to a lot of this is really unique. I'm a big fan of this as well. I think I saw this recently in the record store, so I'm gonna have to slither my way
Ooh,
back, grab
Yeah.
it for sure. And then yeah, Weimar, to back up your point, Jake, about that thing, that completely beats my comparison because I was like, it's like somebody's doing the talking to the fan trick that you used to do when you were a kid, and so it's like someone did that, put a microphone to it, but it's in my top three. I'm like this. I'm like, I'm like, dude, this song's actually not bad. I'm like,
yeah.
this is weird as fuck. Um, and yeah, it's just funny to me. It just cracks my
Mhm.
ass up that this type of music is just, if you just barely look, you just happen to grab something in a record store, you'll stumble into this weird subgenre of music, and you're like, is that what Japan was putting out back in the 80s? Okay. Like we're over here focusing on Def Leppard and Twisted Sister. They're doing some weird shit, guys. Like we need to we need to
Mhm.
tune into that because that shit rules. So hell yeah, man.
Yeah. This album is really something. It's like also like synthy, like there's like just like drum loops and drum tracks that they just add like synths and like warm, like just like loud, like kind of it fills the room with it. It's fucking I don't know. There's really no way to describe this because every way that you can, the next track is just different, and then the next half of the album is just its own thing. Like it's all just uh, a mix of everything, and that's what's cool about compilation albums too, is that like you just get introduced to like so many different artists with like different sounds, different things that they're doing. Like the RNA organism, whoever that is, or what group that is, I don't know. Whatever their music sounds like, if this is the one that's like taken out to add to the compilation, like that's gotta mean something. So the rest of these, like they go without saying same thing. Like I'd want to listen to more of this because it's just unique. It's fun. It's really different. Nothing else that I have in my collection sounds like this. So yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad you
Hell
guys
yeah.
liked it. It's fun, man. Showcases a lot of different things going on in that era in Japan, and I'm glad we could bring it out to everybody to showcase and go pick it up, go buy it. It's worth it. It's not
Yeah.
expensive. You'll love it.
Yeah.
And
You'll
sometimes you
love
just
it.
got to do that. Sometimes you just got to take a chance on a genre or maybe a compilation from Germany. Well, maybe not Germany. I don't know. Some other country that you've never heard before and just buy it because you never know what you're going to get.
Absolutely. And it's one of those like cover, that's like one of the more fun things about collecting is because more often than not, you go to a record store, you have at least like one or two things in mind that you're looking for, but they're cool places to hang out. And so like, especially for us, like going to Moon Rock and shit, I have gone there twice in the past month and haven't bought anything because I'll just like go in and shop, but I'll end up being there for 15 minutes just bullshitting with Callie or whoever's
Mhm.
working. And yeah, so you look at a lot of covers of stuff, and it's like it's one of my favorite, like, judge a book by its cover thing, but also like just if you see something cool, grab it, if
Yeah.
so that's one of the fun things. And this cover would have intrigued me, and reading that little strip out of, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the only reason I bought it. That's why I bought it. I think I didn't go in there looking for this album or looking for a Japanese techno compilation album. I just saw that and I was like, ooh, Mutant Pop, that sounds funny. Shadow Sound.
Shadow Hounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I love skimming the international section. Am I ever going to buy an album from Indonesia? More than likely not. But what if something intrigues me enough? You never know. So
Yep.
hell yeah. I'm glad I jotted down the other one behind you, the Alpha Yen one, because if this
Oh,
is
good. Mhm.
if yeah. So keep these
This might
suggestions
be
coming.
better. This might be better, actually. This might be
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for that then.
This is
Hell
when I
yeah.
had Callie open. Callie's like, let's see what it sounds like. And she played the first track. I'm like, I'll take it. She's like, cool. That's what I love about Moonrock.
Nice.
Like, let's find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Oh, shall we?
Let's do it. Top 3 it up.
Okay. Kick us off, baby.
So many unique songs on this album. For me, my honorable mention, I'm going to pronounce these the best I can. For me, honorable mention is going to be Misa no Naka no Himitsu. Love that track. Very fun and kind of out there. Number 3 would be Sweet Sultan. Again, I was talking about that 80s vibe. You could hear that in a movie scene or something like that. Number 2, just from the start of the album with Arrows and Eyes, I feel like that captures some of what was going on with the certain style of music in that era. It has like the poppiness, it has the slow ambientness, it has everything in there. And then my favorite song is track 2, which is Hikari no Ho Kin no Ho. Yeah, that's the one. That's a fun, catchy track where they're, having the conversations midway through, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it right now. It's just like, it's so fun. So those are my top 3.
That is a fun one. I like that one in particular also. It did not make my honorable mentions or my top 3. Honorable mention for me, Area. That was a really fun one, kind of at the end. It was a little more like drawn out. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt big to me. Like it felt like expansive. Number 3 for me was Weimar 22. We talked about that one a good amount. Go ahead and just give that one a listen. It'll make you laugh, but then if you listen to it enough times, you're going to think it's a banger. Trust me. Number 2 for me, Wedding with God. I kind of talked about that one. Just a very pretty sounding song. Just really liked her voice and like the cadence she was singing with. Like that one did weird things. That one was like weird. I was like liking weird stuff about it, if that makes sense. The number 1 was Mizu no Naka no Himitsu.
Nice.
That was a good one. Yeah, really like that one. So hell yeah.
Damn, I like that description, Dorian. You liked it. You liked the weird stuff about it. I totally hear you. This album is that. Honorable mention for me. I liked Weimar 22. It just really threw me off. I'm like, what am I listening to? This is some weird stuff, but some good stuff. Another honorable mention was Wedding with God. That one just kind of sneaks in at the end of this. And I'd love to listen to the rest of it. I gotta find where I can find the rest of the tracks. Number 3 was Hikari no Kin no Ito, the second song. Really like that song. That's kind of where I hear like the synthy fills that they like put in throughout the track. Number 2, Sweet Sultan. And then my favorite track was Dark Disco. It sounds exactly like the name title, Dark Disco. And yeah, good track. Solid album, man. I'm gonna keep my eye out for this.
I remember when I first spun it and listening to Weimar 22. Let the song play, people. It's not skipping. You're like, is it skipping? Because it keeps playing that melody. You're like, what's going on? But just let it go. Let it go.
Best to just let him go. Hell yeah. Love it. This is truly a great album. I think you should listen to it. I think you should pick it up because, to be quite honest with you, these international albums, like, they just don't sell all the time. So they don't, they're not that expensive a lot of the time. So yeah, if you see it, pick it up. If not, listen to it on Spotify. These 8 tracks that we got to cover were pretty damn good, if you ask me. But now I want to hear more. So thanks for letting me know about that, because now I have even more reason to go and buy this. This album being shadow sounds and mutant pop, somewhere between those words in some order. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but shadow sounds from Japan, from 70 something to 83.
88. 1980 to 1988.
Heck yeah. So yeah, go ahead and give that a peek. Multiple artists on that. That's Matt's pick for this week. This wonderful episode 90 of Whatchu Spinnin'. We're talking Japanese albums today. Stick around. We got another great one coming for you. What did Future Man play? Did he play a shopping cart that was half model train that was also a saxophone?
Right.
Or what? I gotta know.
What happened?
Hell yeah. Man, speaking of crazy cool instruments, we got a damn good one here to talk about right now. Uh, we're moving right along with Whatchu Spinnin episode 90. The Japanese albums keep coming, and man, I had a blast talking about some shadow sounds just a minute ago. But yeah, we got to move on. We got to talk about Jake's pick for this week. What do you got for me?
Yeah. This is 1976, Masayoshi Takanaka. It's Seychelles. Came out in 76. That's the front, that's the back, that's what it looks like. The disc is blue. It's pretty cool. What do they call it? I think it's referred to as city pop or whatever. You could put it whatever you want to, really. It's a debut album from him. Pretty good one. I'd kept my eye out on this for a while. And then when last time that we went up to Portland, I think for Peter Cat. I think when we went to go see Peter Cat, and we went to a record store, and Angela saw this, and I like flipped the fuck out. I was like, oh my God, I gotta bring it up. I waited a little bit, but here it is. So yeah, I've had a lot of appreciation for this. I want to get your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about it?
No, man, this is like I said at the end of last episode, I'm glad that this was the one that you picked, because I know that you have, you've brought up like the Iro Inagaki and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm glad that you chose this one, because it's one, like, the album cover I recognize, so it's so familiar to me for whatever reason. Like, I've seen it online or whatever, and it's just gotten a lot of popularity lately. And so I was like, oh, hell yeah. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet. Now I get forced to for the episode, and my God, man, I got to get my mitts on this. This is good. This is some good stuff, man. I sent y'all the video last weekend. I was like, I have to try to learn some of these riffs. They're fantastic, and yeah, he shreds, man. But then, like, his backing band also kicks ass. I don't know what it is with these Japanese bands. They have the best bass players, dude. They're always just fucking cooking. Like, Takanaka shreds, like I said, but I gotta shout out the bassist, man. Like, that guy's just cooking. So loved that. Great pick. I've got some more to nerd out about it, but nice, man. Good pick.
Nice. I had heard this artist once or twice before when I started listening to this album by Piper. They'd come through on like some of the Piper playlists, and I remember hearing a few songs off this album, and I love it. Like, this album specifically, like the opening track, it just creates a landscape for the listener that can be whatever you want. It can be like beach vibes. It could be like summertime outside with the windows down, driving around. It's whatever you want. And you could hear it in a Mario game, I feel like, kind of Mario Odyssey. It's got kind of that style to it as well. I love it so much that it makes you just feel happy. And all these songs are fun. I'm glad that we were able to find the titles of what the songs are, because I was like, track 4 is my favorite. No, track 2 is my favorite. But very fun pick, man. I love the atmosphere it creates. It fuses a lot of different genres. I feel like there's like a little bit of jazz in there, and it gets a little bit of like the 80s rock too, and it fuses them both together. And it's 1976, so it has that 70s feel all around. And yeah, this is such a fun album.
Yes, I'm glad you guys liked it. It's definitely one of the better ones, in my opinion. Takanaka, he was wild. He was crazy. Like, he would put out an album like every year, almost twice a year, for like this, from the 70s through like the late 80s, early 90s, like consistently every year putting out music. And it's all fucking class. Like, it's all primo stuff. Like, it's all good stuff. So this one was definitely on my radar for a while. I don't remember exactly when I first heard it, but it wasn't too long ago, maybe like a year or two. But yeah, it's fun. Like you guys said, it's happy. It's like a cheerful kind of feel good music. It kind of sounds like tropical in a way, and it's also like a fusion, like a jazz fusion, So it fusions a bunch of different types of genres, different types of playing guitar. The bass play, it's funny enough, Dorian, I guess he used to play bass before in his like first few bands and he hated it. So then he decided to switch to the guitar.
Classic. Toll as old as time, Masa.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and like he really was like kind of one of the more like culturally like front facing men for like this kind of like genre and like music that was going on in Japan. Like this wasn't very common. It wasn't very big. It wasn't something people did back then. So he kind of brought it up, normalized it. He ended up, you know, becoming like super successful, would be on TV shows, on commercials, movies, stuff like that. His music would be played in shows and whatever the fuck. So kind of cool seeing where it came from a debut. You could tell the first, like, he had the formula already. He had everything that, you know, needed to be good at it. So yeah, really solid album. I'm glad you guys digged it.
Absolutely. Hard not to love something like this. And yeah, the everything I've heard out of the city pop genre is just I haven't found something I dislike yet, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. Like, I remember you saying that, I think you had said that this was his debut last episode, and I was listening to it, and I was like, there's not a fucking snowball's chance in hell that this is his first album. And then I looked him up today, and I was like, oh, he had like 3 bands before this, you know, but just hadn't honed his own thing yet. And you said it perfectly. Like, he had the formula immediately. He's like, yeah, this is what I'm going to make. And to round about it, I remember when you first, I think probably when you got this, you were telling us, you're like, yeah, he plays like a surfboard guitar on stage. And then I hear this and I'm like, oh, absolutely he does. Yeah, there's no doubt about that in my mind, because it sounds like a guy who plays a surfboard guitar wrote this, you know, like it's got, you know, Wikipedia is what it is, but I had the most, someone said on there that it has a slight tropic vibe. And I was like, there's nothing slight about it. I'm like, this is toes in the sand, like, good, like, it's, I'm like, I'm gonna put this on instead of Margaritaville the next time I'm at the beach, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, but yeah, man, I love this. This is wonderful stuff. I want to check out some of his other stuff. I just have to figure out which album I'm gonna pick, because he has a billion. But yeah, man, this kicks ass. It's so good. Just when you, and like, it starts off so strong that by the end of it, you're like, it kind of dips a little bit. Like, it kind of finds its groove, you know, but then you're like, oh, the album, you know, we're on like the second to last track. We're probably just going to ride this wave out. And it's like, no, it peaks like right at the end again. And you're like, what the fuck, man? You're like, that's awesome. Like the little almost mislead that it does. It definitely, I listened to this on my walk this morning and was coming back home as like the last 3 tracks played. And I was like, dude, this is incredible. I was like, I'm about to go back out on my walk because it peaks up and it's like, all right, I'm going to keep going. Fuck it. Yep. So thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, this is just a lot of fun all around. I think it's cool to hear this kind of music. And then my pick was kind of weird and ambient. This one's more like poppy and city-ish. So I like seeing all these different sides of the genre that we're covering tonight. Or today. So good pick, good album.
Hell yeah, yeah. It's solid. I love just, you could tell he had fun doing this. There's just a lot of like, you know, happy, feel good feelings that come with it. It's super high energy. It's super kind of in your face with everything that's going on. It's, you know, heavy guitar riffs that, you know, are screaming. The whammy board's going crazy or whatever the fuck. The effects on it are good. Dorian, just like you said, Tropic Birds, like you get an 8-minute banger at the end, just to tie a bow on it like perfectly. So yeah, it's kind of it's like not so much. There's different albums of his that people really like. I forget what it's called, but there's like one that's like something Goblins, or it's something with Goblin related. It's not on Spotify. I tried looking for it, but I did hear like 1 or 2 tracks off of it, and it's basically like an audiobook kind of, but he also has his band that he's playing music with it. and it's so weird and strange. But it still kind of sounds like this kind of feeling. So a lot of the stuff that he was doing like in the 70s, early 80s has this like tropical, jazzy fusion, and then stuff afterwards he started kind of experimenting more. So if you were to listen to more of Masayoshi, definitely probably like his earlier work kind of has similar vibe to this, like Brazilian Skies. That album's also really good. So just a lot of music that he did. He definitely filled his catalog with an insane amount of music that you can listen to, pick out any album and enjoy it. So I'm glad that this one was the one that I stumbled upon because I had been looking for it, and I'm glad you guys liked it because yeah, it's a fun one.
Absolutely. Great pick. What is the song at the end? I was on Wikipedia and found the English versions of the names. Bird Island Express, I guess, is what it's called. But that one had it reminded me a lot of Superfly by Curtis Mayfield, like the bass line and everything too. I was listening to it and I was like, is he doing a fucking Curtis Mayfield thing right now? I was like, this motherfucker. I'm like, you gotta be, what are we doing here? But yeah, wonderful from start to finish. He is clearly beloved in Japan, but I was reading today that he did a show at some point this year in LA, like a 2-night thing at a theater, and he hadn't played in the US in God knows how long, and he was like shocked at people's reaction. He's like, dude, people were losing their fucking mind. And he's also like, he's getting up there. He's like 70 something. And so he's like, yeah, I was just going out there to fucking play my surfboard and they were losing their shit. Like, fuck yeah, man. Like, so if he comes back, man, come back, man. We'll make something happen. But yeah, that's cool to hear, and it's also like this album is almost 50 years old, or it like basically is 50 years old, and then to have him come back after so long and have that reaction, like I was stoked for him reading that this morning. I was like, you know what, man? I was like, that's pretty fucking tight. Like, you gotta love that. And then made me just love the album that much more. But yeah, this is one that I went to Everyday Music when I was last in Portland, and I was looking for this thing. I was like, I hadn't even heard it yet, but I was like, I have to find it. I was like, I'm so curious, but I don't want to ruin. I wanted it to be grab it on a whim thing, and man, that would have, if I would have grabbed it on a whim with this and got that home that night, my head would have fucking exploded. I'm telling you, this is wonderful stuff. Yeah, one of my favorites that we've brought up in a while.
Hell yeah, nice. It's he still tours. Kind of crazy. He's still touring. I don't know if he's doing like currently touring, but he does. Like, he still tours. So it's nuts. I did want to mention kind of a cool little fact. The album Brazilian Skies, there's a song on there called Star Wars Samba where he does like kind of a spin-off of like a Star Wars song. And on the computer version of Spotify, the progress bar turns into a lightsaber. It's kind of cool.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. But besides that, I mean, definitely give it a listen to all the viewers, all the listeners. Give it a listen. It's a pretty fun album. We can chop it up now with top threes. There's 5 songs on this album, so just got to pick out 3 of them. Honorable mention for me was Funky Man. Like that song a lot. Kind of snuck in every time that I'd hear it, like on the turntable. I wouldn't really listen to it a whole lot, but now that I had a lot more time to go after it, it like snuck up on my list here. So honorable mention, number 3 was Bird Island, Kyokoi, I think. It's the I think it's the 4th track or the 6th track. I don't know. It's in Japanese, but that one's good. Number 2 is the opening track, O Tengo Suerte. That song is a perfect intro to this guy and what he does. And then top track was Tropic Birds. I love that it ends on that banger of a note. 8-minute track. It takes up pretty good chunk of the album, but it's very good ending.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I agree that that is a good ending. However, my honorable mention is O Tango Suerte. Talked about that one. I agree with you, Jake. An incredible start to this album. And if this is your introduction to this guy, I don't think you can have a better start. Number 3 for me was Sayonara Fuji-san. That one was pretty good. Did like that one. That was a later one today that I kept coming back to. Number 2, Tokyo Reggie. Yeah. That fucking guitar riff. Fuck it. I played that. I just sat here playing that for like 20 minutes the other day. I was like, just that little piece there. And the number 1 for me was Bird Island Express. Yeah, that bass line in that song is so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah, what a great name for a song, Tokyo Reggie. Man, just has a great ring to it. For me, my honorable mention was Sayonara Fuji. Love that track. Number 3, O Tango Suerte. Great way to start off the album. Number 2 was track 4. I won't pronounce it because it's a pretty long name. It was a great song. Check it out. And then my favorite song was the last one with Tropic Birds. I feel like that one snuck up on me. I was like, oh, it's so short. And then it kind of goes on and on for 8 minutes, like you said. Great way to end the album. Great album all around. Definitely going to look into his other albums and dive down that rabbit hole. I think we've opened up a lot of doors with this genre we went through this week. So it's been fun.
Absolutely. I agree. Rock on, baby. Well, that was Seychelles by Masayoshi Takanaka, which was released in 1976. That's Jake's pick for this fantastic episode 90 of Whatchu Spinnin, the Japanese edition. It's a beautiful day, but don't go quite yet. We got one more album, and then we got to tell you what's coming next. So stick around. It's Whatchu Spinnin episode 90. Boom.
Let's get weird again. Here we go.
Let's do it. Yeah, as Matt said, let's get weird with it again. I think it's about time to go ahead and talk about my pick for this week, which is Yasuaki Shimizu's Kiren, released in 2022. However, it was recorded in 1984. Go and take a look at that cool little album cover. What's that guy doing? Why is he looking 3 different directions? I don't know. But yeah, beautiful way to put it. Let's get weird again. It is very similar to Matt's pick for this week with the shadow sounds, albeit maybe a little more like electronic feel to it. And like, I don't know, definitely reminded me of like Dreamcast video games, definitely brought me back to like shitty graphics and like old school Mountain Dew type of vibe. Yeah.
Nice.
But a good one to listen. It's got some good stuff going on in it. This is also I picked it up on a whim. That turned out to be decent. So yeah, I am obviously a fan of this album, but I want to know what y'all think. What y'all think about it?
I think this is probably my favorite pick out of everybody's. This one in particular, it reminded me right away of like another side of Gary Newman, like a Japanese Gary Newman, especially the way the album starts off with the Ashita, that song. It's very keyboard, synth heavy, and kind of up and down with the percussion. And from there, it just gets crazy. I mean, the percussion's so subtle, but when it's there, it kind of works. And the production's pretty good as well. Songs like Asate stand out with his time signatures and different sampling. And throughout the whole album, the samples that he's using are pretty cool. Songs like... was it Mama no Hana? That song's like evil. It's got like a sinister vibe to it, but also very catchy. And you keep wanting to play it over and over again. But I just felt like that was just kind of an evil song. I don't know. Just had that vibe to it. But I just feel like this album encompasses whatever he was going through, and he was able to just put it all out there on this album. And like whatever he was experiencing in life in general, you can definitely hear it. And he captured everything really well with what he was doing, and so creative. I'd never heard of him before, and I'm anxious to hear more of what he does, but very unique. I can't believe this came out in 1984 too. It sounds very, I don't know, it's ahead of its time for sure. If nobody's heard this album before, go check it out. You're gonna love it right away from the opening track, and then beyond there, it's just, and it's not even that weird. It's catchy. Honestly, you're not gonna get scared off. It's accessible, and he's a very creative person. And again, like I said a minute ago, the production is great. So good album, great pick, my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, this was up there too, man. This one, how Dorian said, a little spooky. We're getting a little weird again. The other night we were playing Minecraft because we were really high, and we were like, hey, let's listen to the albums this week. Started off with Kiren. First song, Ashita, fine. Momo no Hana came on, and got a little scared. Had to turn on the lights again. Had to back myself in a corner, make sure I'm not, it was a little spooky.
It does, but it does make you look over your shoulder. For some reason, it's like that sound is like, it's unsettling a little bit, but like in a good way. It's a little, you're like,
Momo no Hana. Momo no Hana.
Yeah, I'm like, am I like being abducted by aliens? Like, what's going on? And it was quite a trip, but it was good. It's a solid album. It's kind of the same area, same kind of sphere as Matt's, with like a kind of being this electronic, synthy, poppy, whatever. It's got those synth notes also same thing with sampling. It has a lot more sampling, I feel like. And really just kind of cool and out there. And around the same time, roughly, that, Shadow Sounds was coming out. So I feel like you could have put a song on that album too, and it would have fit in perfectly. Like, it would have been like no issue.
Yeah.
So it's like, with that in itself, kind of matches the same energy, the same feeling of everything. It like was perfect to add to this. So I like how we were like, let's pick Japanese artists for this podcast, and we're like, all right, we're getting weird, we're getting freaky with some of the music, but it's perfect. It's great. I love it.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. I was like, a lot more people should like listen to some of these, like if there's an episode that like I implore the listener to like go check out any of the albums, this is one where I'm like, please just go listen to all three. Like, it's not gonna be a waste of your time. The entire playlist of all of these albums is less than 2 hours long. Like, it's not a huge time commitment, and you're gonna like, it's just so worth it. And then you go and you read up on the backstory of Yasuaki, and he's a saxophone player that was known for like doing Bach pieces, and he just decided to get fucking weird with it in '84. And like, I saw this at House of Records, and like I recognized the album cover a little bit because I think I just seen it at record stores, right? And I was looking at it, and I look at the sticker on it, and it's like, dance music from 1984 from saxophonist blah blah. And I was like, oh, dance music from '84, and it's a saxophonist. I'm like, okay, I can kind of get behind that. And then I was walking around with it. The price tag was a little steep, and I ended up finding some other stuff, so I put it back. And I was like, I'll listen to it, and if it's worth it, I'll go back, or if I see it somewhere else. Listen to it that night, and I was like, God damn it, I wish I would have bought it. And so like 2 days later, I went on a walk at work, and I went to Moonrock, found it for almost $20 cheaper. Shout out. And I bought it, and Callie basically did a similar thing that she did with you, Matt, where she's like, have you heard this? Like, what is it? I see people buy it all the time. I'm like, you should listen to it. Like, I don't know how to explain it really, but you should just go ahead and listen to it. And yeah, it was again one of those, like, not like a buy it on a whim, turned out to be one of the better things I bought recently. And yeah, just like, I don't know why I went and looked him up, and I was like, there's no way that he was doing Bach pieces. I was like, this guy you described it perfectly, Matt. This is like Japanese Gary Newman. Like, what the hell? You're telling me he was doing Johann Sebastian for a while? Like, what the hell, man? And I think even with listening to it, like the first couple of times I listened to it through, I couldn't pick up the saxophone almost at all. And then toward the end of it, you're like, oh, it's such an interesting way that he still incorporates it into the music, because it's not like orthodox. Like he's not using it like you normally would. And so I really appreciated that. And the fact, just the whole energy of it. It's like dark and spooky, but not like, and if you listen to it long enough, you will bob your head to it. That's what I love about it. Like after a bit, you'll be like, all right. Yep.
I was checking the back of my album just to make sure he wasn't like one of the hidden artists, but he's not.
Damn.
Like, damn, maybe he is on here.
Yeah.
Like you said, saxophone style. The last track on this album, Ori no Umi, is so good. It's my favorite track. I mean, Jesus, that saxophone just there, and that is one of the more accessible songs on this album. To end it with that song is great. Such a banger.
Right. I agree. And it's almost one of those instances where you're like, oh man, you ended it on such a good song. You left me wanting more. And then it's one of those that like forces you to go listen to his catalog. Which, if you plan on doing, listen to Kakashi. That's another good album of his that I was getting into this week. It played one of the times after the playlist wrapped up. It started playing a couple songs off of it, and I was like, ooh, this is pretty nice too. But yeah, Ori no Umi is a great way to end it. I agree.
Yeah, he's just a master of his craft at this point, with this album, and I'm glad it was released. I'm gonna look for it and grab it as soon as I find it. The album cover is great, like you said, man. It stands out right away. You're like, yep, you got to find out what this is about. And once you do, you're in for a treat. It's a great album. Showcases so many sounds that are going on, and like I said a second ago, the ending track with Ori no Umi is just so good.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's some good stuff. Shiasate, the second to last song, also that's my favorite track on this album. Peruvian Pink also has some like cool, like funky stuff going on with it. It's real fun. It's real unique. I love that it's also like these albums that we've talked about. They're pretty short for the most part. Like they're not just overinflated with music and like 20 tracks deep. It's like 7-8 tracks most of our albums. So it's like they compacted everything perfectly, and the album just speaks for itself the whole time. So definitely gonna have to keep my eye out for this one as well. I did listen to a little bit of Kakashi. Good album. It was pretty good. They have a couple really good songs, and also music for commercials. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was like, I was like, it's like music for an airport or for airplanes or whatever. It's kind of gave me the same vibe as that. But this one, like, definitely a little bit more of like it gives me a little bit more of like hidden dark feels to it. Like something I shouldn't be listening to, kind of. But you should be definitely give it a listen. Check it out. There's a couple songs that are on here that are really good, that you'll definitely like. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out and listen to more of his stuff, because I don't know what made him to make this album, what caused him to do it and not release it for such a long time. So kind of cool that we get to see more of this older stuff, and I want us to hear the rest of his catalog, to see how he even got to that point.
Exactly. I agree. And I think the fact that it wasn't released for so long really plays into that feeling of like, I shouldn't be listening to this. Like, it's something that like, you're like, oh, he didn't even want it out for so long. Like, what's the deal with that? I agree with you on that. But yeah, I think it's a solid pick. I'm really glad that you guys liked it. I was like, well, I listened to Matt's and I was like, if anything, he'll like it. I was like, it's in the same vein. I was like, it's not going to be a surprise as far as the stuff that I've been bringing up lately. Again, we've been riding this like weird, dark, listen to it with the lights off type of wave, and it's only getting better. So I'm glad that you guys liked it. And y'all ready to do some top three? Heck yeah. Honorable mention for me is the opening track, Ashita. Matt, you said it perfectly. Like, that's a good way to start. This album like starts and ends so well. The track listing on it was done very, very well. Number 3 for me, Momo no Hana. We talked about it for quite a bit. It's a damn good song, man. It's the weirdest one on the album in my opinion, but one of the best. Number 2 for me was Peruvian Pink. Kind of a longer track, and there's like a little bit more, like there's more saxophone going on in there. I really like the drum kind of thing he's got going on that one as well. And number 1 for me was Asate. Kind of liked the switch from Momo no Hana into Asate was probably what did it for me. But yeah, those are my top 3s.
Nice. My honorable mention was Keiga Rofu. I like that track. Kind of a unique sound all throughout that one. Number 3, Asate. Another killer track. There's not a bad one on this album. Number 2, I like the evilness that is the Momo no Hana, man. I just kept going back to that one throughout the couple weeks we were listening to this album and just kept going that. And then, of course, Ori no Umi is my favorite track. Showcases what he can do on the sax, and it's just a great way to end the album. It's perfect.
Asate Samuel.
Yeah, that guy.
I like the love we have for the weird stuff. That's my honorable mention. Momo no Hana just really threw me off, kind of gave me the creeps, a little bit scared. But the fact that it did that is already powerful in itself. I'm gonna listen to it right after this. Shit, I want to feel that again. Number 3, Peruvian Pink. Talked a little bit about that one. Number 2, Ori no Umi. Also, same thing. I didn't hear it at first, but then you really, if you listen to it more and more, you'll hear the sax in it. It's really good. And my favorite track, Shisate. I love that song. That's definitely like my song of the album. Like if you could listen to it, it's probably my favorite one.
Heck yeah. Love it. Love those top 3s from both of y'all. Great album. Great albums this week. But yeah, that'll do it for me. That is Kiren, released in 1984 from Yasuaki Shimizu. Saxophonist from the great country of Japan, because that's what we're covering today, is Japanese albums. It's Whatchu Spinnin' episode 90. Stick around and we will let you know what's coming in 2 weeks' time. Peace. Back it up, back it in. Let me begin. I came to win. I believe that's a sin. Anyway, it's time to wrap it up here for episode 90 with telling y'all what's coming in about 2 weeks' time for episode 91. Listen to all 3 of these Japanese albums, please, please, please. They are very good. I had a blast talking about them. Lots of laughs, lots of good stuff. We're going to go in the order that we talked today to let you know what's coming for next episode, which means that, Matt, you are first. What do you got for us, my friend?
I'm going to go back in time to the late 70s and talk about a band that we brought up once before, or that I brought up once before. And this is the album before the album that I talked about. It's Rush, A Farewell to Kings. It's the album they released before Hemispheres. And there's a little comparison there between both albums. I think you guys will like it. 1977, Farewell to Kings by Rush.
Nice. Nice, dude. Hell yeah. Jake?
Looking forward to it. Love me some Rush. That album's good. Yeah, I'm going to go with kind of sticking a little bit towards the jazz a little bit. It's kind of like a hip hop collective. It is Dinner Party, Dessert. There's an instrumental version. This is the one that they have just a bunch of collaborative different artists on it, different rappers on it. Dinner Party, Dessert. It's Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, and Ninth Wonder. Came out in 2020. Dinner Party,
Nice.
Dessert.
Hell yeah. Okay. I've heard of Ninth Wonder at least. And the other names, at least one of them rings a bell, I'm sure. That's going to be fun. This is one that I've been wanting to bring up for a really long time. Kind of has to do with the text chain last night, but not quite. Not quite. Not quite. I'm going with Elucid's I Told Bessie from 2021.
Yeah.
My favorite album by him. We've talked about Billy a good amount. We talked about Arm & Hammer. Figured let's give there is obviously Billy's on this like 2 or 3 times, so that will be brought up again. But yeah, Mr. Elucid with I Told Bessie. And when you
Yeah.
get that and you pair it with Rush, A Farewell to Kings, and then you trio that into Dinner Party Dessert, that's what we call episode 91 of Whatchu Spinnin'. And that's what we call a damn good trio of albums, if you ask me. Um, that's going to be some good stuff, boys. But I think that'll do it for all of us. Go listen to the 3 albums we talked about all throughout the episode. Stay tuned to hear us talk about these 3. Go ahead and listen to them with us leading up to next episode. Word on the street is we'll be in person, so that'll be really fun. And you know what? While you're at it, go ahead and support local businesses, local record stores, local restaurants. Go see a friend, go tell someone hello, eat some good food, listen to new music, listen to old music that makes you happy, and send someone a song that they probably haven't heard that you think they would like. And tell them Papa Dory sent you. I'm Dorian. That's Matt. That's Jake. We are Whatchu Spinnin', and we are out of here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.